All right, today we're jumping into a story that's pretty fascinating. We're looking at Israel, a country that's, soaked in ancient history, but has also somehow become this hub of futuristic innovation. Let's get into it.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. We are talking about a tiny little piece of land, a lot of it desert, that somehow has this huge, outsized impact on the world. This is really the central puzzle we're going to try and unpack here. It's a story of how you can turn what you lack into your greatest strength. So where do you even start if you're trying to build a nation and more than half of your land is just dry desert? Well, you don't just look for water. You have to completely reinvent your entire relationship with it. And this right here is where the story of Israeli innovation really kicks off. Okay, get ready for this number because it's pretty staggering. 90%. For most places in the world, once water goes down the drain, it's basically just waste. But here, it's treated like gold. It gets cleaned up and used all over again, mostly for farming, which is how they literally make the desert bloom. And this chart, wow, this really drives the point home. Just look at it. You see that bar for Israel way up there at 90%? Now look at the next closest competitor, Spain. They're down around 30%. This isn't just a little bit better. It's a completely different league, a whole new way of thinking about water that was born from just having no other choice. And if recycling nearly all of your wastewater wasn't mind-bending enough, how about this? Literally pulling clean, drinkable water right out of the air. This sounds like science fiction, I know, but it's real. And it's not just a cool trick. It's become a vital humanitarian tool. They're deploying this tech in disaster zones, places hit by hurricanes, giving people access to clean water when there is none. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. We've seen how they innovated on the land, but what happens when that exact same problem-solving mindset gets applied to the digital world? This is where you get the startup nation. We're talking about an unbelievable concentration of tech companies, and you've probably used some of their inventions without even realizing it. Yeah, this list might actually surprise you. That little USB flash drive you've got in a drawer somewhere, an Israeli company pioneered that. The navigation app that helps you dodge traffic on your way to work, that's Waze. Many of the super advanced Intel processors that power our computers, a huge part of their development happened in Israel. And the cybersecurity that protects all of it, that's Checkpoint. All of these have roots in Israeli startups. So here's the key thing to understand. This isn't some happy accident. It is a culture. This incredible density of new ideas is fueled by a perfect storm of things. A highly educated population, technical skills that often get honed in the military's elite tech units, and, maybe most importantly, a culture that isn't afraid to take risks and fail. It's an ecosystem that's put more companies on the NASDAQ than any country besides the US and China. Just incredible. Okay, now we're going to pivot completely from microchips and software to something that's never happened anywhere else in human history. A different kind of innovation altogether, one that's about culture and society and language. We're talking about the revival of Hebrew. Just look at this timeline for a moment. It shows something that, by all logic, should have been impossible. For almost 2,000 years, Hebrew was basically a dead language. It was used for prayers, for religious texts, but nobody spoke it in the street. Then one man, Eliezer ben Yehuda, made it his life's mission to bring it back. Think about the challenges. They had to invent thousands of new words for things like ice cream or computer, and then convince people from all over the world to start using it. To really get how big a deal this is, just imagine trying to make ancient classical Latin the everyday spoken language of Italy, or any country for that matter. It's never been done before, and it hasn't been done since. It's this incredible linguistic achievement that really helped create a shared culture and identity for a very diverse group of people. And of course, that deep connection between language and history is all tied to the land itself, a place that's unbelievably significant for billions of people around the globe. And what's really wild is just how physically close all these sacred histories are to each other. In the old city of Jerusalem, you can literally take a short walk. We're talking just a few minutes, and you can touch the holiest sites for Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. You have the Western Wall, the last remnant of the Jewish temple. Then, just around the corner, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, where Christians believe Jesus was crucified. And right there, you have the Al-Aqsa Mosque, one of the most sacred places in Islam. It's probably the most spiritually concentrated piece of land on the entire planet.
This quote from Shimon Peres, a former Israeli leader, just perfectly captures the spirit we've been talking about. It doesn't matter if the problem is a barren desert, a language that hasn't been spoken for 2,000 years, or a major security threat. The default response is always this relentless, creative, we'll figure it out attitude. Which brings us right to our final big idea. The notion that in Israel, the biggest challenges have been the very things that sparked the greatest innovations. It's that old saying, pressure is what makes diamonds. And here we'll see how even the country's security needs have led to some amazing global breakthroughs.
So let's take the Iron Dome system. It was born from a very harsh reality, the constant threat of rocket attacks. It's an absolute marvel of engineering designed to save lives. Basically, its super smart radar sees a rocket coming, calculates its path in an instant, and if it's going to hit a town or a city, it launches a missile to blow it up safely in the sky. But here's the brilliant twist. The exact same kind of radar technology that was developed for defense is now being flipped around for peaceful, civilian uses all over the world. For example, that seeing tech is a key component in developing self-driving cars. Other companies are using it to make weather forecasts more accurate. It's a technology built for defense that's been reborn for human progress. And this right here is the ultimate synthesis. It's a place where, on one hand, you have archaeologists unearthing the Dead Sea Scrolls, these ancient texts that literally change our understanding of the past. And then, maybe just down the road, you have scientists working on quantum computing and AI, the very stuff that is going to define all of our futures.
So we'll leave you with this thought to chew on. What's so fascinating about Israel is that it's a nation that doesn't just put its history in a museum. It seems to actively use its ancient stories of survival, of resilience, of renewal, as the actual fuel for its nonstop drive into the future. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes our biggest challenges can spark our biggest creations.